then let's be truthful about it, because the Holocaust isn't about race.
Whoopi Goldberg says an ignorant thing about the Jews and the Holocaust, and hell, let's just talk about racism. Hey guys, my name is Jason Wesley, and this is not a podcast. So Whoopi Goldberg is suspended for 2 weeks because she was speaking on The View last week and said the Holocaust was about white people killing white people.
The Holocaust isn't about race.
No.
No, it's not about race.
It is.
Well, they
No,
consider
it's
Jews
about
a different race.
But it's not about race. It's not about race.
What is it about?
Because it's about man's inhumanity to man. That's what it's about.
But it's about white supremacy. It's
Well,
about
but
going
it's
after
not- it's
Jews
not
and-
about
and
ideal race.
gypsies and
But these are two
Romas.
white groups of people.
Well, they
How
go
do we
after black
They
people
didn't see
too.
them as white.
And they
But
went
you're
after
missing the
homosexuals.
point. You're
Yeah.
missing the point.
ABC News President Kim Godwin saying in a statement, effective immediately, I am suspending Whoopi Goldberg for 2 weeks for her wrong and hurtful comments. While Whoopi has apologized, I've asked her to take time to reflect and learn about the impact of her comments. The entire ABC News organization stands in solidarity with our Jewish colleagues, friends, family, and communities.
2 week suspension, huh? Is it too much or is it not enough? Let's first take a look at the facts. So this is from Mein Kampf. Race, defined by the Nazis as a biological concept and as the fundamental building block of human societies. There are 3 general types of races: the culture creators, the pure Aryan race, the culture sustainers, races with substantial Aryan blood, the culture destroyers, the Jews. Even the left-leaning PolitiFact gave Whoopi a pants on fire rating. The Auschwitz Memorial, meanwhile, tagged Whoopi Goldberg in a tweet, advertising its 7-chapter online course on the history of the Holocaust, in which the Nazis murdered some 6 million Jews. Hey Whoopi, here's some pictures of just a few Jews throughout history. Abraham Lincoln, more widely known for fighting to abolish slavery, was Jewish. Albert Einstein, better known for his theory of relativity and founder of the Hebrew University of Jerusalem, was Jewish. Rob Schneider, pictured here with his late mother, is Filipino and also Jewish.
I did not know you were Jewish. Filipino Jew.
Our very own Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot, is from Israel and is Jewish. Israeli rapper Eden Durso sings and raps in Hebrew. Adam Sandler, also Jewish, sang a Hanukkah song and also named some Jewish people in it.
Houdini and David Blaine escaped straitjackets with such precision. But the one thing they could not get out of, their painful circumcision.
Now, not all Jews look the same or are the same, just like not all black people look the same or are alike. Hell, your last name is Goldberg, for crying out loud. And if all the Jews are white, from your perspective, does that mean that you're saying that Jesus was white? So then she went on Stephen Colbert to do some damage control.
As a black person, I think of race as being something that I can see. So I see you and I know what race you are. And the discussion was about how I felt about that. I felt that it was really more about man's inhumanity to man and how horrible people can be to people. If the Klan is coming down the street and I'm standing with a Jewish friend and neither one, well, I'm gonna run. But if my friend decides not to run, they'll get passed by most times because you can't tell who's Jewish. You don't know. It's not something that people say, oh, that person is Jewish or this person is Jewish. And so that's what I was trying to explain. The Nazis were white people, and most of the people they were attacking were white people. So to me, I'm thinking, how can you say it's about race if you are fighting each other?
So I guess the one drop rule really wasn't about race, presumably, because a mixed person could pass for a white person and still be discriminated against, lynched, or even enslaved. Was it just white people against white people? What about racism in Asia? A lot of Americans think that Chinese, Japanese, and Korean people look the same, so they just call them Asian, but when they talk about people from India, they refer to them as Indian rather than Asian. Does the Stop Asian Hate apply to Indian people as well, or is it about an ideology? Is it really about skin tone? What about all of these Indians welcoming former President Trump?
I gotta tell you, I have never seen anything like this before. This was like a stadium packed for a rock concert. People waiting in the blistering heat for hours just to see President Trump.
A Make America Great Again rally, India style. They even blasted Macho Man before the president took the stage, and when he did, a show of affection for India's prime minister.
Namaste, Trump.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Donald Trump, you like Donald Trump?
Even if he's already managed to win over the 100,000 people here.
You think he's going to win?
100%.
What do you like about Donald Trump?
He tells the truth.
My guess is that you only support minorities that support your ideology, the ideology of cancel culture or Marxism. Now, Sunny Hostin, Whoopi's co-host on The View, said in October 2020 that she supports cancel culture, calling it consequence culture, and people should be held accountable.
And you have an issue with cancel culture as well, Sunny, yes?
I do. I have an issue with the term, actually, cancel culture, because I think for far too long, we've let people get away with really bad behavior and now deemed it that they're being canceled because of their behavior rather than being held accountable for their behavior. I think it's high time that many people that behave badly, behave poorly, behave in racist manners, be held accountable for it because there should be consequences to behavior. So rather than call it cancel culture, why not call it consequence culture? Why not call it other things like that? And when you look at it through that lens, then I think that's different.
Now, Roseanne Barr not only lost her job, but her #1 show was taken off the air for tweeting Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby equals VJ, referring to Valerie Jarrett. I mean, if you look at them side by side using Whoopi standard, it looks like a white woman against another white woman. But Jarrett was born in Iran by American parents and is mixed. But the one drop rule says that she's black, or the politically correct term, African American. Personally, I have the same sentiments as Smokey Robinson on the term African American.
Now, by and by, we were called Negroes, and after a while, that name was banished. Anyway, Negro is just how you say black in Spanish. Then we were called colored, but yet everybody's one color or another, and I think it's a shame that we hold that against each other. And it seems like we reverted back to a time when being called black was an insult, even if it was another black man who said that a fight would result, because we've been so brainwashed that black was wrong till even the yellow niggas and the black niggas couldn't get along. But then came the 1960s, when we struggled and died to be called equal and black, and we walked with pride with our heads held high and our shoulders pushed back, and black was beautiful. But I guess that wasn't good enough, because now here they come with some other stuff. Who comes up with this shit anyway? Was it one or a group of niggas just sitting around one day? Feeling a little insecure again about being called black and decided that African American sounded a little more exotic. Well, I think you were being a little more neurotic. It's that same mentality that got Amos and Andy put off the air because they were embarrassed about the way the characters spoke. And as a result of that action, a lot of wonderful black actors ended up broke when we were just laughing and having fun about ourselves. So I say, fuck you if you can't take a joke. You didn't see the Beverly Hillbillies being protested by white folks.
Anyways, what Whoopi said, if we're going to keep the same standards equally for people on the left and right, she should be fired. But I don't care one way or another. I believe in free speech. But rather than educate herself, she decided to self-censor.
Don't write me anymore. I know how you feel. Okay, I already know. I get it. And I'm going to take your word for it and never bring it up again.
She couldn't deal with the backlash so much so that she decided to never bring it up again. This is dangerous territory. Imagine you're in a relationship with someone and your partner gets really upset at something that you said ignorantly, and rather than learning and discussing it, you self-censor and say, I'm never gonna bring this up, I'm never gonna talk about this particular thing again. Cancel culture is a form of intimidation and manipulation, and that's what the left is doing and pushing.
Whoopi Goldberg, who, by the way, I hope is still a friend, we can disagree with each other, should not be canceled or put off her show, as much as I totally disagree with her crazy statement. Free speech. She should be there. She shouldn't get a timeout.
Now, do I hate Whoopi Goldberg or am I offended about what she said? No, I just believe that she believes that what she said was actually true, and it just turns out that she's just ignorant as hell. I don't know who's more ignorant about the Jewish people, Whoopi Goldberg or AOC.
But I also think that what people are starting to see, at least in the occupation of Palestine, is just an increasing crisis of humanitarian condition. And that to me is just where I tend to come from on this issue.
You use the term the occupation of Palestine. What did you mean by that?
I think what I meant is like the settlements that are increasing in some of these areas and places where Palestinians are experiencing difficulty in access to their housing and homes.
Do you think you can expand on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd also just, I am not the expert on geopolitics on this issue.
The ideology that many people that believe exactly what Whoopi believes don't believe that Jewish people are a victimized race of people. They think that they are, quote, white adjacent. Not victimized, but considered white people.
We